So welcome to this video where I'll be discussing choosing a pension versus a SIPP. A SIPP being a self-invested personal pension. Hopefully it will help you decide which one is best for you when it comes to retirement savings. Now, if you like this video, enjoyed information, find it useful, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. So what is a personal pension? Well, it's a financial product that you can use to save for your retirement. It's different from a workplace pension because you set it up yourself, and it's different from a savings account because you can benefit from significant tax relief on any regular or lump sum payments that you put into it, and they can be invested to grow over time. So what is a SIPP? Well, a SIPP is a self-invested personal pension, and it's a type of personal pension, but it has more flexibility than a normal personal pension. Instead of a pension provider making decisions on where your money goes, so there's normally a limited range of investment funds with a personal pension, for example. With a SIPP, you choose your own combination of investments unless you get the help from a financial advisor. Now, a SIPP is a good option for experienced investors, but do bear in mind that you are making the decision, so any poor performance is down to you as a result of those decisions. A SIPP also offers more investment options. It may mean that you can invest in international shares. That can be directly, not just UK shares. You can invest in commercial property, but crucially not residential property, and you can gain exposure to things like commodities. Now, crucially, the difference between a SIPP and a personal pension plan is that you have greater control over your exposure to each of these asset classes. Now, you can get funds in personal pensions that can give you some exposure to those assets, but the SIPP gives you greater control. Now, as mentioned, the performance of your pension pot depends on your investment decisions. Now, that can be individual funds when it comes to a personal pension, or indeed a SIPP, but with a SIPP, you can invest more directly into individual assets. Now, historically, the added complexity and flexibility of a SIPP has meant that the charges incurred are higher than a more basic personal pension, but that is not necessarily automatically the case anymore, where there are some keenly priced options out there for those wanting to take advantage of a SIPP. SIPPs can be split into two main categories: ready-made SIPPs and DIY SIPPs. Now, DIY SIPP platforms generally offer more variety than ready-made options, but you will need to do all the work yourself. You will need to do your own research, including what fees are charged for different investments and trades, and calculate how you want to grow your pension pot to the extent that it can support you when you decide to retire. If you choose a ready-made SIPP portfolio, that will mean the investment decisions are made for you. So providers will use a simple questionnaire to generate data for what is often called a robo-advisor to estimate your appetite for risk and select a plan for you, and the investment decisions will be made by them. Ultimately, there are still decisions for you to make, and that includes accepting what your attitude to risk is, and of course that can change over time, but most of the legwork is done for you. As you might expect, these options will not always be the cheapest. The more work you are asking your provider to do, the more you are likely to have to pay in terms of fees and charges. For a full roundup of the best personal pensions and SIPPs in the UK, click on the links in the notes of this video. We look at the charges, the options, including investment options, and we also look at some of the performance of some of the pensions out there, so you can make your own choices. Now, in conclusion, both personal pensions and SIPPs are great options for retirement savings. The standard personal pension is probably best for those who want to save with minimal investment decisions, while a SIPP is better for those who want to have their own choices. They've got investment experience and they want to choose where they invest. Consider your investment experience and the level of control you want over your investments before you make a decision. Now, one final point I want to point out is, should a SIPP provider go bust, then you will be covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme up to a value of £85,000. Now, the same is true for a personal pension. However, if it's set up as a contract of long-term insurance, then your protection may be as high as 100% of the value of your pension. So bear that in mind if you're thinking of changing from a personal pension to a SIPP. So there is an article that covers this whole topic on the Money to Masses website. We put a link on screen so you can click through and read more. If you found the video useful, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.